And we can go live to Paris to speak to Peter Allen, a journalist. Peter, we spoke actually exactly a year ago when we talked about what was happening in Nice. And I remember you were telling me about the sense of shock, about the horrific nature of what was happening and the way that this was an everyday object that caused so much destruction.
That's absolutely right. It was the low-tech nature of what was an absolutely horrific terrorist attack that really affected everybody. Clearly, there had been awful terrorist attacks in Paris as well. But this one, because it came on National Day, July the 14th, everybody was out on the Promenade des Anglais enjoying themselves, enjoying the fireworks, and suddenly from nowhere, this truck got on the promenade and killed so many people, all kinds of people from all kinds of communities, all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of religions and non-religions, of course. And it really wounded the nation.
How do you think Nice is recovering a year on?
It's been very, very difficult. I know a lot of people were quite upset that the beach reopened after 3 days, for example, following this attack. There was very much a feeling that they had to get on, they had to have business as usual, otherwise there'd be some sense that the terrorists had won. But I know a lot of people in Nice who didn't return to the beach for weeks, months, some haven't even been back. And it's a place that all of us around the world associate with holidays, with good times, with happy times, with families, with friends, or whatever. But I think that it's still got this terrible feeling of horror about it. It's trying to get on with things as normal, but it's very, very difficult.
The attack happened during, as you touched upon, a very difficult time for Paris. Of course, the Bataclan attacks, the Charlie Hebdo attacks as well. There's a big question mark over the way the country is dealing with its security. How are people, what do they think, what do they make of all of this on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I think the best way to describe it is a lot of money can be poured into the state security. You can put soldiers on the street. You can put more police on the street. You can put bollards on the Promenade des Anglais. You can do all kinds of things. But in the end, any determined individual, especially some of the mentally ill, drug-afflicted characters that get involved in this kind of destructive behavior, they'll always find a way through. And people realize that. They try to lead their lives as normally as possible. But I must say, living and working in a city like Paris, it's certainly always in the back of my mind in certain situations that if somebody wanted to attack and carry out some horrendous crime, they probably could. And I think that is how most people view it. Statistically, the chances are you'll never be affected by terrorism in your life. But if it does happen, of course, your life could be taken away from you or, in fact, ruined. And people are very aware of that, I would say.
No, of course, that must be something that is in the back of people's minds all the time. Of course, we are seeing that Nice is continuing, and we know that the Jazz Festival has now been rescheduled, and we've also got a concert that is going to be taking place. We're looking at images of it at the moment, Peter. Of course, it's important that life does carry on, regardless, as you say, of people being upset that the beach had reopened 3 days later.
Yes, people have to get on with their lives. You can take certain precautions. There may be a way that you can be aware that if you're sitting on a cafe terrace or indeed walking along a promenade or whatever, if you see something suspicious, if somebody runs towards you, there's all kinds of ways that you can be aware of danger and think about what you might do in a difficult situation. But beyond that, the key is to get on with your life, to live your life. And if not, this very small minority of delinquents, how do you want to describe them? Very, very unpleasant individuals who pick up these ideas of carrying out terrible murders for whatever reason. And the key is to get on with it. And it sounds a cliche, but hope for the best.
OK, well, Peter, it's good to talk to you a year later after those horrific events of what happened in Nice. Thank you very much. The journalist Peter Allen there speaking to us live from Paris.